Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us for October 15th, 2024 York City Council meeting. At this time, do we have any public comment?
Oh my God, I saw that thing down there.
Okay. We will move along and we will call our legislative meeting to order. Madam Clerk, can you please call the roll?
Bub,
Here.
John Askew,
Here.
Buckingham,
Here.
and Washington.
Here. May we all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, all of us that can stand.
I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may be seated. At this time, we have action on previous meeting minutes of October the 1st, 2024. I make a motion to approve our October 1st, 2024 legislative meeting.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? That moves forward. Up next, we have presentations, awards, and announcements. I do have an announcement that I would like to share this evening. I would ask if we would begin by taking a moment of silence for retired Chief Dave Michaels of the City of York Department of Fire and Rescue Services, whom unfortunately passed away on October 11th, 2024. Thank you. Chief Michaels was an honorable man of integrity, character, grit, strength, and fortitude. It was a true honor to have the ability to work alongside him in the Bracey administration. He was always willing and ready to roll up his sleeves and work together with anyone to ensure that our city was safe and protected. I can't remember a moment that I did not see a smile on his face or joy beaming from him. Chief Michaels always had a kind word to share and the ability to get the job done. We truly lost a great man and an even greater fire chief in the city of York. On behalf of York City Council, we offer our condolences, prayers, and thoughts to Chief Michaels' beautiful family, his wife Barb, his 2 daughters, Holly and Amelia, and his 5 grandchildren. Thank you.
Thank you. He will definitely be missed. He was a wonderful, wonderful man.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was. Our next meeting scheduled, our council committee meeting is scheduled for Wednesday, October the 23rd, 6 o'clock p.m. here in York City Council chambers. As a reminder, agenda items are due.
That's canceled.
That's canceled. So, an update. Our council committee meeting on Wednesday, October 3rd, 2024 has been canceled at 6 p.m. Our legislative meeting will be held Wednesday, November the 6th, 2024, 6 p.m. here in council chambers. And as a reminder, all agenda items are due by 12 noon on October 30th. As far as for our legislative agenda, up next we have resolution number 99.
So introduced.
Resolution number 99, introduced by Teresa John Askew. Be it resolved that council hereby approves the certificate of appropriateness as recommended by HARB for the application filed for work to be done at 382 West King Street.
Move for a vote.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded. I understand we have representative here to speak. Do you have any comments or anything, sir? If you can come to the microphone, please.
I apologize.
No
I
problem.
appreciate the exception of the offer. We would like to get out there and start the work right away. It's getting cold, so we want to paint before it gets too cold.
Thank you.
Thanks. All right.
Thank you. Do we have any comments from council or questions from council? None at all? Do we have any comments or questions from the administration? Madam Clerk, can you please call the vote?
Bub,
Yes.
John Askew,
Yes.
Buckingham,
Yes.
Washington,
Yes, and that moves forward. Thank you.
Looking forward to the trend.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great evening. Up next, we have final passages of bills and resolutions. We have final passage of Bill number 34. Move to approve.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded.
Okay. And that is Bill number 34, which was introduced by Aquina Washington at the October 1st meeting of council. It's amending the 2024 budget for the Bureau of Housing Services by appropriating revenue and expenditures for CDBG grant funding, reflecting changes due to unexpended funding for 2017 and 2021 in the amount of $35,655.94.
Do we have any comments or questions from council? I don't.
Queen, closest thing it relates to is that there is a strategy, or the housing plan is out there and available for viewing. I think that includes CDBG money for the future. So if people want to look that up, go to the city website, go to the Department of Housing. You can still read that plan. I think comments are available to be received through the end of the month possibly, but just wanted to remind people they can take a look and see how the city's planning to spend CDBG money for the next 5 years.
Thank you, Councilwoman Buck. Are there any other comments or questions from anyone on council? And any comments from the administration? Madam Clerk, can you please call the roll?
Bub,
Yes?
John Askew,
Yes.
Buckingham,
Yes.
Washington.
Yes, and that moves forward. Up next, we have final passage of Bill number 35.
Move for a vote.
Bill number 35, which was introduced by Elizabeth Bupp at the October 1st meeting of council, is an ordinance amending Article 951 Municipal Solid Waste Management Act to add requirements for proper disposal of approved liquids, clarification on required refuse containers, change the billing frequency for refuse collection service fees from monthly to quarterly, include the obligation that property owners maintain updated contact information, and change the determining criteria for a property to be considered vacant for refuse fee billing.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded. Are there any comments or questions from council regarding this?
Yes, I just want to make a comment because there's going to be some change that everybody in the city is going to see and feel, and the more everybody knows. This bill, number 35, what it's doing an awful lot, but the most significant thing it's doing is going to move the refuse billing, that flat rate bill, everyone gets their garbage, to quarterly instead of monthly. And this is happening because currently we're paying $32,000 a month with everything else, almost $400,000 a year for York Water Company to send out a flat rate bill to York residents. This is going to be a significant savings for the city when it comes back in-house in January, and part of that change will be, preparing to receive the bill quarterly instead of monthly. And I'm sure the city administration will make sure that enough coverage and information gets out there for everybody to be prepared for that change. But I think this is a great move, for city residents and city taxpayers.
Thank you.
And just to follow on that, one of the other things that the bill talks about doing is, or asking that residents update their contact information with the city. And actually, I will ask Business Administrator Kim if she could talk about how you want people to share that information with the city so that you have their updated names and addresses, if you don't mind.
Sure. The whole process will probably be a couple phases. The first is making sure we get everybody's information to our new system so that we can issue that first bill, which is slated to be dated January 15th, 2025, and it will cover the service period for the first quarter, so through March 31st, 2025. That's the first goal, is to get that out. Second, the next priority after that follows suit with the other change in this ordinance, which was how we determine who is eligible for just the minimum flat rate as opposed to the residential or commercial, specifically for vacant properties. So our next goal then is going to be take whoever is on the books as being considered vacant and getting the minimum, and reaching out to them to make sure that they can provide us the documentation before the next billing in April to justify them still being able to be vacant. Otherwise, they're going to start getting the residential or commercial rate. That's the second priority. After we got ourselves going, we make sure that Treasurer Jeffcoat and his team are able to be, accepting the money that's coming in. Then the next phase will be, okay, what's the outreach we can do in order to make sure that everybody will be able to keep their contact information up to date. So that will probably be phased in, and after we get the bills out in April, we will then be focusing on how we're going to be able to do that. So I don't have that quite nailed down yet. We've got lots of options available to us, either paper, personal, or even using the programs that we have on the website in order for people to just go right in and pop in their information to us so we can update our files. So we've got a couple resources available that we'll definitely review and see, probably a combination that will be the best fit in order to assist everybody with providing that information to us. The other thing that'll just help is as situations come up where we end up focusing on certain properties because of there being billing issues, or if properties are exchanging hands, this language in here will essentially allow us to ask right then for updated information, and that they're being, hey, we've got a foot to stand on in terms of why we need that information from you. So I think that's where we're going to see the impact to start with, is that as we're dealing with individuals directly, that we're going to be like, hey, can we get this in our system? We'll actually have a place in our new system to put it and make it useful. But we're already in works. We've added the OpenGov's tax and revenue system. We've done our kickoff. I think we start our first meeting in terms of actually starting to build the system, and they literally had to send us what all the options are in terms of how we can actually structure a property file. We've been kind of restricted in the past that we're lucky we have enough characters to put the address, and now we've got all kinds of options of where we have spaces to collect information that'll be definitely useful to us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My only comment, Business Administrator Robertson, is to ensure that we have an effective public relations campaign to roll this out to the community, to make sure that the community is aware of the changes, they're aware of what to do, what not to do, how to come in and ask, just to make sure that everyone is aware that, of course, there will be some confusion with any change or anything, but if we can try our best as a city to make sure that we have proper communication with that and use all the avenues that we have, White Rose Community Television, social media, the press, and all of that, just to make sure that everyone is aware of the changes and things like that.
We're actually already working with York Water in terms of what language is going to be put on all of their from what's on the bill to, they had a couple various ways to make payments, and they're going to start putting that information on, saying, yeah, we can accept your payment through the middle of January, but remember, going forward, this is going to start coming from the city. So essentially, we already have folks directed in terms of the actual bill itself. They're going to be directed to the finance office, and we have an accountant that will be directed to. When it comes to making payments, they'll be directed to the treasurer's office. So essentially, it's all nice and focused here at City Hall. So yes, we are working on that. In addition to that, we have Chief of Staff Scott Miller working on press releases and how we're timing that. And we already got Cliff Kern in there in terms of him being able to use the White Rose Television, essentially little ad options that he has in order to express it. So yeah, that's the goal, is to kind of get it out there as much as possible, because not just the change of used to getting it from New York Water, but also that, I'm sure we'll be dealing with I didn't get my bill in February.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's going to be a bit of a learning curve, but we're feeling really, really good about it, and confident that we're getting all the pieces in place so that, yeah, we can try to avoid as much confusion as possible.
Does Treasurer Jeffcoat have anything to add?
Of course. Yeah, I mean, I think.
You have to come to the microphone.
as Kim has indicated, I think we're just sort of at the beginning of the process. And as I read the ordinance, I just hope that you will always stay flexible with us as we try to put it into action. And there's some things that we've been talking about. I mean, do we really need to give people 2 years to ask for a refund if they move? That seems to be a very long time to me. I'm not sure we want to set a 1.5% on a monthly basis. 30 days scares me because 30 days means you change the date that you charge that interest every month, because every month doesn't have the same number of days. Tax claim found that it was easier to just say, on the first of the month, we will add on the fee if you haven't paid your bill, not on the 30th one month and on the 31st one month. And, so just so we have some flexibility as we begin to sort of look at what it really takes to administer the program and get it up and running. Kim is right. We're having a lot of conversations on an ongoing basis with OpenGov. In fact, we're going to 2 meetings a week schedule coming up every Tuesday and Thursday to just keep the process going and be sure that we're getting all the information that we need. Like one of the things in the amendment right now doesn't ask for an email address. I'm like going, oh, we please need an email address. And be sure we're getting a daytime phone number where we can get people and that they understand that we not only have the owner's address, but if we have a leasee, we know who the leasee is, who's in the property versus who owns the property. But we think that OpenGov is going to give us that flexibility that we can gather multiple contacts for a property in case we are having issues with the property in any way, shape, or form. I think that's really all. Those were all the little notes I wanted to sort of bring to your attention as we move forward, but
Good thinking.
Thank you.
we're working on it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you, Kim. And thank you, Kim, to you and your team and everyone in administration, Treasurer Jeff Coat, for working to bring this to fruition.
Yes.
It's going to be a great benefit
Yes.
to us in the city and a great benefit to our residents.
One more thing, just for anybody who's wondering, the rates aren't changing right away. So, but your first bill will be 3 times whatever the monthly rate is, because it's a quarterly bill. But, and then the rates are being removed from the ordinance because they can be changed by resolution. So there won't be rates in the ordinance, but they will at some point come up if they need to change through a resolution. Is that right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Are there any other comments from the administration?
Nope.
Madam Clerk, can you please call the vote?
Bub,
Yes?
John Askew.
Yes.
Buckingham.
Yes.
Washington.
Yes, and that moves forward. Up next, we have final passage of Bill number 36.
Move for a vote?
Second.
Bill number 36, introduced by Elspeth Bub at the October 1st meeting of council, amending Article 952 Waste Minimization and Recycling to add a minimum weekly collection requirement for those that are not served by the curbside program provided by the City of York.
Are there any comments or questions from council regarding this?
No.
Any comments or questions from the administration?
No, I just wanted to clarify for those that might not be aware, because Diana and I looked it up, that apparently this ordinance has been in place since 1990, 1991, and it's been changed over time as needed. So this is just our newest need to amend it specifically to add that requirement. That's one of those like, well, you know, that's one of those things, if it's not in there, then people don't know that that needs to be done. And that's, as was mentioned by Public Works and Interim Director India Banks, this is a requirement for some of the grant funding that we get to support our recycling program, is that we have to have it in there as a requirement.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, can you please call the vote?
You said for our recycling program, right?
Correct.
Okay. Let's see here. Bub,
Yes?
John Askew,
Yes.
Buckingham,
Yes.
Washington.
Yes, and that moves forward. Up next, we have final passage of Bill number 98.
Move to approve.
Second.
That,
And that was Bill number 98, which was introduced at Council's October 1st meeting, and it is increasing the fee for duplicate bills from $5 to $10.
and is there any comments from council or questions regarding this?
Just to clarify for those who might be listening and wondering, $5 doesn't cover our cost currently to send out a duplicate bill. It's been at this rate for such a long time. And also, it doesn't seem to be much of a deterrent, according to the treasurer's office. So thank you for moving forward with this.
Any other comments or questions from council? Any comments or questions from the administration or treasurer regarding this? No, we don't have any. Madam,
Not raising the fee, I think we want this number to the public too. If you're
you have to go to the mic.
If you're homesteaded and have property in the city, we will continue to offer a copy of the bill for $5 before the penalty date. So there's still an opportunity to get it if you don't get your bill for some unknown reason or if you lose it. But we do send out any bills that are returned to us. We'll automatically and send those back out to people. So we're trying to, keep our database as accurate as we can.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Clerk, can you please call the vote?
Bub,
Yes?
John Askew,
Yes.
Buckingham,
Yes.
Washington.
Yes, and that moves forward. We have no new business, no introduction of bills. We have no items for consideration of the consent agenda. We have no future meetings. Is there any future council comment this evening?
Go ahead.
I would just to remind everyone that our budget hearings that were scheduled for tomorrow night and Thursday night have been moved to next week in respect for Police Chief Michaels. Fire Chief Michaels, yes, thank you. And encourage people to come to attend those on the 22nd and 23rd here in council chambers.
Thank you.
That was what I was going to ask too, so super.
My only other comment is, once again, to remind everyone that the last day to register to vote is October 21st. If you have not registered to vote, you can register at pavoterservices.pa.gov. It is 6:22 p.m. Oh, no, administration. Do you have any comments?
I was just going to mention that anybody who's with us now have noticed that we are about to start the roof replacement on City Hall at 101 South George Street. As part of that process, in order to assist with the contractors, we have blocked off the front of City Hall where the brick area is, including the front entrance. So that will remain closed until the project is done. But all of the other entrances around City Hall, though soon you will see us covered in scaffolding, it'll look like downtown New York here, you will be able to access those entrances and exit safely. It's just the front of the building you will not be able to go in and out of. As I joked earlier, now that it has caution tape and we're in the middle of October, I thought it was Halloween decoration at one point, but it's not. We're just blocking that off to make it safe for the contractors to be able to do the work. And in addition to that, the very front row of our parking at our customer lot, you'll notice will be blocked off as well for them to use to have easy access for their equipment and vehicles. So we do still have handicap parking in the back, and our handicap accessible entrance and is available. So just wanted everyone thinks, hey, what's going on? We're getting our roof replaced. So good news.
Thank you. It is, oh, yes. You have to come to the microphone.
I think we need to make some big signs and attach them to the barriers in the front of the building, because when I admit I go out for my afternoon coffee at 3 o'clock, and I met a gentleman out front, and he was totally befuddled as how was he going to get in the building if he couldn't come through the front door. And then I went and got my coffee. I explained, go around. But on the way back, I ran into another person trying to get in the building who said, well, how do we get in? What do we do? And I said, there's an entrance in the back. Go around to the back, you can get in. So I think we need to get some big signs and put on the barriers in the front of the building to say, go around back, you can get in, we're open.
Thank you, Treasurer Jeffcoat.
Very good.
It is now 6:25 PM and our meeting is adjourned. Everyone have a phenomenal evening and weekend.